The first few seconds of any YouTube video are the most important. You need to hook them in to make sure that they don't click away. This is why I have things like the Potemkin gag and the Mercedes video, Noel on a Noel. I try to make my opening gags good. But this episode, I don't have an idea for anything funny. So I'm just gonna kinda zoom in on a picture of Dagdar's face and hope you laugh at it. Yeah, I'm phoning this in this episode. Come on, give me a break. A man's allowed to take a vacation. Alright, have you laughed? Okay, let's go with the video. Fire Emblem has a long history of proud and fantastic axe dads. Beefy men whose strong muscles are matched only by their strong heart. Perhaps the most famous example of this is Grail, Iconmist's stern, but fair father, who definitely has a long, healthy life ahead of him. There's Bartray, who really isn't the brightest of bulbs, but genuinely tries his best as a single father to his precious fur. Then there's Garcia, who set aside the career he genuinely loved to take on a greater battle, being a father to his son. And then there's Dice, who... And then there's today's Axe Dad, the big man of Mount Violdrake, Daddy Dagdar. Well, before we get into his character, let's address his unit quality, as some of Dagdar's memorability comes from that. Now, at first, he looks like your typical early game pre-promote. High base stats, but lack of any growth rate above 15% renders long-term usage moot. But you see, Dagdar manages to honestly be much better than your average old man on a horse for a few reasons. First of all, his stats actually never fall off. You can literally deploy Dagdar in the end game with his base stats if you really wanted to. 3 cheers for Thracia's really low stat caps. It makes pretty much everyone not named Shanam at least possible to make work. The second thing is Thracia's mechanics really all benefit a unit like Dagdar. Dismounting, capture, and fatigue all hurt him much less than the average unit. In Thracia, it is illegal to ride your horse inside, so all of your powerful mounted units like Finn, Karen, or Dean take a stat penalty indoors. Because of this, for these indoor maps, you want to use your powerful unmounted units, like Dagdar, Osian, or Dean. And also, Dagdar, for whatever reason, has 7 base move, as opposed to the normal promoted infantry of 6, so he can even keep up on outside maps too. This means, unlike a lot of units, you can put Dagdar on literally any map of the game and you can be sure that there is something of value he can do there. And his base stats are also perfectly geared towards capturing and fatigue. He's perhaps best suited to those tasks better than anyone aside from a trained up Marty. In Thracia, every time a unit participates in battle, they gain 1 point of fatigue, and if their points of fatigue exceed their maximum HP, they will be unable to be used in the next map. Even very useful units like Safi, Marita, and Karen will suffer from this, since their low HP will tire them out quickly. But Dagdar's girthy base 43 HP means he can keep trucking on and on, requiring very little time to stop and rest. So not only can he be useful in every map, he can be deployed in damn near every map as well. And lastly, for the first, and really only time in Fire Emblem, gold is a very scarce commodity not available in abundance. So in Thracia, you capture enemies and steal all their shit instead, a tactic I am amazed more people in Fire Emblem haven't done. So to do this, you need to be a big fucking dude. You need to have a higher build stat than someone to capture them. Dagdar is big enough to capture most units in the game, and with the free Brave Axe he steals, borrows from Halvin, he can do that very easily. He's also one of the few units who can do it indoors as well, since the forced dismounting means you have very few units who are big enough to subdue enemies. If you put Dagdar in any other Fire Emblem game, he'd be mediocre at best, but Thracia's mechanics perfectly position him to be one of, if not the, best units in FE5, which does play a big part in why Dagdar is so well loved and remembered by the 15 people who have played Thracia 776. So now that we've established why Dagdar is such a fucking beast, let's establish why he's such a fucking cool dude. He used to be a bandit of the Violdrake Mountains, pillaging, burning, dying to people with blue hair, whatever the hell it is bandits do. However, he was set straight in his ways by a Veil sometime before the start of the game. and alongside his daughter Tanya and his right-hand man Marty, he shows up on the first map of FE5, coming in to help Leaf and the gang to kick out the monster invaders from the small town of Fiana. His character is immediately portrayed as kind and thoughtful. He's concerned about how Avail is going to face off against the vastly superior numbers, and rushes in to help her out. He's also shown to have a really good head on his shoulders, as he was able to ascertain Leaf's identity despite Avail keeping his heritage a secret from everyone. And his kindness is shown again when he doesn't shame Avail for lying. Instead, he directs his attention to kicking the ass of any soldier in his way. We interrupt this broadcast for some breaking news. Money has started infesting the world. It can be found everywhere. In your couch cushions, in your purses, it could even be in your pocket right now. But don't panic, there's a way you can safely waste all the money you have at the same time. You can subscribe to the Fire Emblem MS Paint Memes Patreon. For as low as $3 a month, you can gain access to benefits like early access to videos, getting your name called out, and more. You can also get access to deciding on polls for future videos. If you go there right now, you can probably just watch Lucas win. I think this one's going to be a landslide. Anyways, the people that have given me enough money to get their names read aloud include Andrew Crockett, Atomic X160, follow Pen to the North Star on Twitch, subscribe to Great Riek, Green Brigand, Hell on Heelys, My Anus is Bleeding, Kieran Morin, Lightning Bolt, Me Do a Gamer, Memi, Michael Hamilton, Nember, Nevrix the Fallen Shield Guy, Ranger Man Sam, Ryan Walter, Space1255, Steph D, Tato, Anti Ginger, Brentendo 11, Drew Hack, Kazu Foxfire, Max, and Saizegi. Thank you all for your continued support, and we'll bring you back to your regularly scheduled programming. A few chapters later, Leaf, Avail, and a few others are captured by the resident bastard man of Thracia, Raedric, and upon hearing this news, Dagdar immediately makes a plan to gather his ex-bandits and storm Munster to save them all. But when he gets to his mountain home, he finds that the boys haven't taken to farming too well, and have reverted back to their old bandit ways. Gomez, the new leader of the Dagdar bandits, has expressed incredible frustration in trying to farm the harsh rock lands of Thracia, and says that he's doing what he's doing and that's the only way to stave off starvation. This scene is really good because it helps reinforce the story theme of both Genealogy of the Holy War and Thracia 776 that Thracians aren't really being evil because they want to. Dagdar doing the right thing has genuine consequences that makes the situation more than just a simple black and white battle. But what makes Dagdar's character shine here is how he responds to Gomez. Despite Gomez's betrayal, he tries to reason with him. He doesn't want things to resort to violence if they don't have to, showing a level of kindness that most people would lack in this situation. However, he's not a perfect paragon of good. He does lose his patience with Gomez once the man says that the only reason Dagdar quit banditry was to get a piece of Avail's ass. Insulted by this outrageous idea, he puts his axe up and readies himself to fight Gomez, lamenting over how this is how he's repaid for the years of putting a roof over Gomez's head. A fact about this that I think really shows Dagdar's kindness is both Gomez's death and release quotes. In death, he apologizes to Dagdar, and in release, he promises him that he'll find a better way to live. Gomez clearly does respect and care about Dagdar, and I think that if he did that when he raised a goddamn mutiny, I think it's safe to say Dagdar's kindness is respected by all of his former bandits. During the fight against Gomez, Dagdar reunites with Leaf and learns the fate of Avail. Hearing this has him very visibly distraught, going so far as to berate Leaf for his failure in protecting her. But once he sees that no one is shaming Leaf over this harder than Leaf himself, Dagdar calms down and apologizes. He realizes that Leaf is trying his damn hardest out there to be a good leader, and that the effort for that shouldn't go unappreciated. He makes a vow to be beside Leaf to the end, and tries to encourage Leaf by saying Avail can still be saved, as she's merely captured, not dead. He even expresses some self-doubt here too, saying that he's no replacement for Avail, but he'll try his best to help Leaf nevertheless. The scenes of Dagdar losing his temper with Gomez and Leaf help him feel more fleshed out. He isn't some trope of kind, understanding father or a hot-headed brute. He feels more like a genuine human, who has a range of emotions depending on what's happening to him. The kindness is at the center of it, but it's not all of it. And it's after this point in the story that Dagdar finally remembers he's a character in Thracia 776, and he fades into complete obscurity. He vanishes from the story from chapter 8x to 24x, leaving a large gap where he's nothing more than just another dude in your army. It is a crying shame, but hey, he's better off than people like Sylphina's knights who don't even know what the fuck a dialogue is. When he does finally show up again in 24x, it's after a veil is saved, and he expresses his joy over having her back, remarking that he's no replacement for her leading the kids to victory. She then quells his self-doubts, saying that he should give more credit to himself. She says that they make quite a team fighting off bandits and knights together. Dagdar's flustered response gets some teasing from Tanya, and seems to imply that Gomez's claims that Dagdar had the hots for a veil might not have been too far off the mark. However, there is one more cool thing about Dagdar, but to see it, we'll have to gun him down in cold blood. See, if Dagdar is killed, he'll become a zombified Deadlord fought in the final battle of the game. The Deadlords have always been a cool concept, fighting zombies of legendary fighters, but seeing them as a reanimated version of a person the player failed to save hits a different way. He shares this trait with other powerful units, Avail, Galzus, Sarah, and Lithis, for some reason. Giving Deadlords faces we recognize is a cool idea that would later come back in the form of Nurgle's morphs from FE7, though only with enemy units. Dagdar's character ending has his hard work and good faith pay off, as he's shown to have finally made the lands he farms into fertile soil. It's an ending that helps the idea that Leaf is leading the way to a better Thracia, but Dagdar's own ending isn't the one that's most famous for him. It's actually Marty's, his right-hand man in more ways than one, as Marty is titled The Man Whom Dagdar Loved. This has led many to believe that Dagdar is the first canonically LGBT character in Fire Emblem, though given that Marty and Dagdar literally never share a single conversation, we'll never know if this is meant as sort of an adopted son love, or if Dagdar really is a bi man. And quite honestly, even if he isn't, he's still a really cool dude who manages to be a memorable character in spite of being from a game infamous for very little character writing. Dagdar is a great example of how someone can do a lot with a little. His scenes are few, but his impact immense. Thank you all so much for watching to the end of another character analysis video. Thracia is not exactly the most well-played game, so I really appreciate that you watched it all the way through. As always, I'd love to thank the Green Brigand for all of his help looking over the script, calling out my typos, and then I laugh as I refuse to fix them. If you enjoyed the video, please feel free to leave a like on the video, comment, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, subscribe to the Discord or the Patreon, both are in the description, and watch for me when I beat the shit out of 8-year-olds in Pokemon Unite. Snorlax gang for life. Till next time.
Change the world. My final message. Good